The Knicks season is officially over. The Knicks massively overachieved in the regular season, but the year is ending in disappointing fashion with a gentleman's sweep by the Atlanta Hawks. While I did think the Knicks had a chance in this series, I'm not shocked at all that the Hawks won. Many Knicks fans really underrated how good this Hawks team was. They had the best record in the Eastern Conference in the second half of the year, where they went 27-11. The Hawks deserve all the credit in the world because they're a very good team led by a budding superstar in Trae Young. While this was a tough matchup for the Knicks, the coaching staff made quite a few mistakes in this series. So in this video, I'm going to break down 3 adjustments the Knicks should have made. But before we continue, if you like content like this, please like the video and subscribe, as your support is very much appreciated. Now let's get started. The first adjustment that the Knicks should have made was to force Trae Young to work on defense. Before this playoff series even started, I made a video on some key strategies the Knicks should implement in order to beat the Hawks, and one of them was to attack Trae Young on defense. Trae Young is an offensive juggernaut, but he's a pretty weak defender. Even though his defense has improved, at 6'1" and just 180 pounds, he's not a great on-ball defender. The Hawks have been successfully hiding Trae Young on defense by having him guard Reggie Bullock, a player whose only role on offense is to catch and shoot threes. And while Trae Young gets to rest on defense, he's lighting the Knicks up on offense. This is where, if you're a Knicks fan, you have to be frustrated with Thibodeau because he's allowing Trae Young to get away with murder. In the NBA playoffs, we see teams target poor defenders on the other team all the time. When the Rockets faced off against Golden State in the conference finals, they were constantly forcing the Warriors to swish Steph Curry or James Harden so he could attack him. Steph is a pretty good team defender, but a mediocre on-ball defender, and was the obvious weak link in the Warriors' defense. Why in the world aren't the Knicks running a ton of screens involving Trae Young to get him switched onto Derrick Rose? Attacking Trae Young on defense has 2 key benefits. For starters, it helps the Knicks to generate easy offense. The Knicks have been struggling to score against a pretty good Hawks defense, so attacking a weak defender like Trae Young could be an easy way for the Knicks to efficiently score points. 2, making Trae Young work on defense can take away from his offense. For one thing, if Trae Young has to play hard on both ends of the floor, that could take away from his ability to deliver in the clutch. Plus, if Trae Young has to guard Derrick Rose, he could end up in foul trouble, and he can't help his team win while he's on the bench. Either way, Thibodeau choosing not to relentlessly attack Trae Young on defense was a huge mistake in my opinion. The next adjustment that the Knicks needed to make, but didn't, was not playing Frank enough. I know Frank has been out the rotation for most of the year, but he's the best perimeter defender that the Knicks have, and they desperately needed someone to slow down Trae Young. Now, I know some people in the comments are going to say, but Frank got cooked by Trae Young in the final possession of Game 1. Alright, while that is true, it isn't fair to expect Frank to stop Trae Young on the last possession when he's entering the game for the first time. Think about it this way. Would you expect a player, even one that's a good shooter, to hit the game-winning shot when they haven't even played yet? Of course not. So the fact that Frank got burned by Young on the last possession doesn't take away from his defensive abilities. If Thibodeau had allowed Frank to guard Trae Young the last 5 minutes of the game, then maybe it would have been a much different story. All series long, Trae Young has been killing the Knicks in pick and roll coverage. He's one of the toughest players in the league to guard in the pick and roll because if you go under the screen, he's hitting the pull-up 3. If you go over the screen, he hits floaters at nearly 50%, and if the big man tries to contest the floater, he's throwing a lob to Clint Capella. This is where it would have been perfect to activate Frank because he's one of the best pick and roll defenders in the league. In fact, in just his rookie year, he's statistically ranked as the best pick and roll defender. Why is Frank such a good pick and roll defender? It's because he's great at fighting through screens and using his 7-foot wingspan to bother shots from behind. If the Knicks are getting killed by Trae Young in pick and rolls all series long, why wouldn't they at least try to give Frank at least 15 to 20 minutes of playing time? I know Frank provides almost nothing on offense, but it isn't like you're getting consistent offense from guys like Reggie Bullock or Emmanuel Quickly. The Knicks got absolutely torched by Trae Young in this series, and Tibbs should have definitely given his best perimeter defender more playing time. And the final adjustment that Thibodeau has failed to make is not helping Julius Randle to get going on offense. It's no secret that Randle is having a god-awful series. Randle is coming off an MVP caliber year, and he even dominated the Hawks in the regular season, but in the playoffs, he's shooting the ball horribly. The reason for Randle's struggles is much deeper than he's simply a choker. The Hawks have been using a defensive strategy where they use Clint Capella to double team Julius Randle. The extra help that Randle is getting has been throwing his game off, and he's struggling to make good passes out of these double teams. It also doesn't help that his teammates have failed to hit the open shots when he finds them. What's really discouraging is the complete lack of a counter to this defensive strategy by the coaching staff. And when your best player is struggling to put the ball in the hole, great coaches run plays to get them easy baskets. We have not seen that in this series. Why haven't the Knicks run any two-man game with Randle and Derrick Rose? Getting Julius Randle a wide open look from three and a pick and pop could be what's needed to jumpstart his offense. Instead, we're seeing the Knicks force feed Randle in the high post, which is only leading to bad offense. The complete lack of creativity from Coach Tibbs is a huge concern. This isn't to say that Tibbs isn't a good coach. Tibbs is a very good coach, and the Knicks have massively overachieved thanks to him. But the playoffs are all about adjustments, and coaches that choose to stick with what won them games in the regular season and don't make adjustments in the playoffs often end up getting fired. Thibodeau has to do a better job of diversifying his offense against the defensive adjustments of other teams. But anyway, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. What do you think the Knicks could have done better in this series? Tell me in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you want more content like this, and enjoy the rest of your day.